Hello and welcome to From Digital to D&D. For those of you unaware, this series sees a character from fiction receive a stat block for you to use in your games of D&D along with ways to use them. Naturally, any character that features in this series belongs to their respective owners. Here we are, 2 years old. How the time flies. It's been a challenging year, but I wanted to just say thank you. Thank you for all your support. Longtime members of the channel may recall I first began with a video of Senator Armstrong, and to mark 1 year I then did Jetstream Sam. So, let's continue our annual tradition of another boss from Metal Gear Rising. Prepare for the endless memes of Monsoon.
Have us! Hurt? I have won this! Give it up! Welcome to my utopia of death! My name is Monsoon of the Wind. How could you wonder, weakling?
Monsoon is one of the 4 Winds of Destruction, captain of the private military company Desperado. Little is known about Monsoon's life other than he was a survivor of the Cambodian genocide. Monsoon grew up in a time of war, which forged him into a nihilist. At some point after 1979, he joined a crime syndicate dealing in drugs and bodies. He would be badly wounded in a shootout and undergo the process of becoming a cyborg. Having already mastered using size before becoming a cyborg, Monsoon became even more deadly. Shortly after, he joined with Desperado and rose to become one of its leading members. Desperado would be hired by World Marshal, headed by Senator Stephen Armstrong, to perform less than legal operations on behalf of World Marshal. In 2016, Monsoon helped Armstrong lure the Brazilian swordsman known as Jetstream Sam to Denver so he could be recruited. During Sam's rise up the World Marshal compound, Monsoon would intercept him and exchange words. Following Armstrong's plan, Monsoon unleashed a Metal Gear ray on Sam as a test and withdrew, noting that even if Sam killed one member of World Marshal and tore a limb from the organization, it wouldn't stop them. 2 years later, Monsoon would resurface when he intercepted an incapacitated Raiden outside a World Marshal HQ. Having learned of Raiden's worldview on justice, Monsoon began to share his view. Monsoon spoke of how
Free will is a myth. Religion is a joke. It's controlled by something greater. Memes. The DNA of the soul. They should know. They are the culture. They are everything we pass on.
Monsoon was a misanthrope who saw these memes as the true puppet master of nature, and they decreed that the strong prey on the weak. His words broke something in Raiden, and to Monsoon's surprise, Raiden's persona of Jack the Ripper resurfaced. Now facing an insane, bloodthirsty cyborg ninja, Monsoon took the challenge. The two would clash one-on-one, but in the end, Monsoon fell to Jack the Ripper. But as a cyborg, his consciousness lasted long enough to note how he passed on a meme to Reid, and that the slaughter would continue. Monsoon was an unfortunate soul shaped by horrific events until all he knew was to continue the same horror. Monsoon was a cyborg, but his augmentations were very unique. Each section of Monsoon's body was broken up into plates held together by electronic magnets. These sections could disengage from each other and move independently, making Monsoon highly mobile and able to move specific parts of himself out of the way of harm. This was due to the electromagnetic generator built into his head. This generator was very powerful, allowing Monsoon to wield magnetism as a weapon. Monsoon could propel himself to leap great distances and stick to any surface that could be magnetized. He could even walk upside down if the ceiling could hold him. Each limb could detach and attack from afar. But Monsoon's power of magnetism are not just limited to himself. With enough power, he could lift magnetizable objects into the air and launch them. The object didn't even need to be made of a magnetizable material as seen when he threw a monument at Reid that had a rebar in it. And if he wanted to, Monsoon could hurl multiple objects at once. But there is a weakness to this power. When using his generator for anything beyond normal functions, it would protrude from his head to extend its area of effect. But if the generator was struck, or a powerful EMP collided with it, Monsoon's systems would short-circuit and leave him vulnerable. His systems would reboot fairly quickly, but in that window, he was completely helpless. In terms of weapons, Monsoon wielded a pair of high-frequency sighs known as Dystopia. Due to their upgrades, they could inflict more damage by destabilizing molecular bonds via oscillation. Monsoon also carried a supply of red phosphorus grenades that would block vision even for other cyborgs. In this cloud, Monsoon would strike from unpredictable angles and without warning, making him nearly impossible to track. Monsoon was the very definition of a wind of destruction. Monsoon is probably the most challenging member of Desperado to put into D&D for just how unique he is. But after 2 years, I feel like I've captured the essence of the winds of Southeast Asia pretty well. If you want to take the time to look through the whole stat sheet, you can find a link to it in the description. But there are a few areas I want to highlight. Let's start with his more intricate feature, his rechargeable bonus action called Segmented Body. When activated, Monsoon is considered to be behind 3/4 cover, meaning he gains a +5 to his AC and dexterity saving throws. And since he can move any part of his body out of harm's way, attacks against him also have disadvantage. There are some conditions for maintaining this. Monsoon has to concentrate on it like a spell, so if he takes enough damage, he might be forced out of it. But the generator also becomes exposed on his head. The generator can be targeted separately, which has an AC of 18 and 10 HP separate from Monsoon's HP. Note that it does not gain the cover or disadvantage benefits that Monsoon does. If the generator is reduced to 0 hit points, it retracts, and Monsoon becomes stunned until the start of his next turn, when the generator regains its hit points. You might ask why 3/4 cover and not just a flat +5 to his AC. I wanted to reward sharpshooters and spell snipers and give them extra utility in the fight. But you might notice this does not cover the EMP weakness. Well, in D&D, I feel like anti-magic stuff is the closest thing to an EMP, and as he is mostly machine, Monsoon is susceptible to anti-magic. With anti-magic susceptibility, Monsoon is incapacitated in areas of anti-magic, and he can be temporarily stunned if he fails a con save against a spell magic. So, if Monsoon works out, someone can cast this, he'll probably get rid of them first. Moving along, I want to quickly mention Magnetic Climb and special equipment. Magnetic Climb is like Spider Climb, but only for magnetizable surfaces, and Dystopia, Monsoon's size, are considered a pair of +2 daggers for anyone who uses them. Now, in terms of actions, Monsoon has some strong options. He can use Dystopia against any target within 30 feet with ease up to 60 feet at a push. Though they are considered daggers, each strike deals 2d4 +7 piercing, and given Monsoon can make up to 5 attacks during his turn, he can deal up to 10d4 +35 piercing damage. That is an average of 60 piercing damage. But Monsoon is willing to use any part of him as a weapon, and he can slam a target at the same distance as Dystopia. Though it deals less damage, if Monsoon hits someone twice in a single turn with his slam attack, it has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the end of Monsoon's next turn. So, Whilst it does less damage, it grants him control of the battlefield just a little bit more. But now for the part we all remember from Monsoon when we're fighting him. By using Loren's Force, Monsoon can use either Flood of Pain or Utopia of Death. Flood of Pain sees Monsoon leap at a creature within 30 feet, forcing it to make a dex save. If it fails, it is knocked prone. If Monsoon knocks it prone, he stabs into it like crazy, dealing 10d4 plus 35 piercing damage. Sound familiar? Moving on to Utopia of Death, this is the one that lets Monsoon hurl cars and helicopters. Monsoon targets 1d4 plus 1 large or smaller magnetizable objects he can see within 120 feet. Why 1d4 plus 1? Monsoon starts his fight throwing just one thing at Raiden and ends with several, so this is my compromise. Each object gets pulled towards Monsoon, who then casts Catapult on each object at 9th level. To be clear, he casts it individually on each object, meaning counterspelling it only stops one object at a time. To remind you of what Catapult does at 9th level, the object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet. If something gets in its path, it has to make a dex save or take 11d8 bludgeoning damage. If they manage to dodge it, the object keeps flying until it hits something or reaches the end of the line. Normally, the spell has a weight limit, but Monsoon can bypass that. He also can't deal damage more than once to a creature if he targets them with multiple catapults at once. They only make the save once at disadvantage. But we move to the last area of note, his reactions. I was tempted to give Monsoon legendary actions, but I wanted to do something a little different by giving him 3 reactions instead. Left Hand Rule can trigger right after Monsoon uses Utopia of Death. He gets to try and recharge Loren's Force, and if he is lucky enough to recharge it, he can use Utopia of Death again. If the dice are in his favour, someone might take 22d8 bludgeoning damage in one turn, which is an average of 99 hit points. Red Phosphorus Grenade can only be used when Monsoon ends his turn and takes 2 reactions to use. But it lets Monsoon create a 60-foot cloud of dense fog. This isn't a magical fog, so True Sight and Dark Vision won't help, but Monsoon's Blind Sight does. The fog lasts for 1d4 plus 2 rounds, meaning Monsoon can lurk inside it, but he can only have one cloud active at a time. And finally, we come to Retreating Leap. Monsoon is the poster boy for the boss who jumps away right before you get to hit him. When he takes damage from an attack or an attack misses him, Monsoon gets to jump 30 feet away without triggering opportunity attacks. I must admit, I am proud of this sheet as it lets Monsoon be the menace he wants to be. Monsoon is an enforcer, a powerful general in the Big Bad's army. He doesn't desire to rule, he just wants to enjoy the bloodshed. His worldviews make him quite likely to join with a BBEG who has a grand plan, as it lets him do what he does best. Much like Raiden, the party are unlikely to even hear of Monsoon until they are on the Big Bad's radar and considered an actual problem. If the party have become a thorn in the BBEG's side and now they're getting too close for comfort, Monsoon might be sent in to deal with them. Think of Monsoon as the dagger of the BBEG. Though he has every intention of slaughtering the party, Monsoon will probably choose to engage in dialogue first. He loves to talk even as he fights. If the party try to cut his monologue short, they watch their attacks miss as his torso suddenly lifts into the air before reattaching. When the fight begins, the party will find Monsoon is a whirlwind of attacks, leaping from place to place and using the terrain as a weapon. Due to his augmentations, Monsoon can't function in social encounters, so he is best as an obstacle who will not let the party pass unless his boss tells him otherwise. But with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Before you head off, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you managed to get something out of this. If you feel like helping out, you can become a patron using the link in the description. The stat block for Monsoon is available on D&D Beyond for free, and the link to it is in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and may your dice roll favourably. Goodbye for now.